Hello and welcome back to the Emerald City Comicon live stage. My name is Danny Roth. I'm the host of SYFY WIRE Sue One of the Week. It's Thursday, so I still smell okay. Also, I think presumably smelling all right still is Matt Rosenberg and Donny Cates.
Hey.
I don't smell good.
Oh,
no, Matt
all
never
right.
smells good.
You know, you could have kept that a secret. There's a lot of video. These people are far away.
No, Matt smells terrible.
All right, wow.
I
mean, it doesn't have to be terrible. You can go halfway, just like a vague, manly
Well, I'm just telling the truth. You know, that's what I'm here to do. Just tell the truth.
All right.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Cool. So yeah, this is a anti-heroes roundtable.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
That is what it was billed as. That's why all the fine people are here.
Okay.
Rectangular table.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming.
So the first thing to do is to say there was supposed to be a third person here.
Kyle
Higgins.
Kyle Higgins is dead.
He died.
Yeah.
He died.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Yep. Was writing Winter Soldier.
Now dead.
Now
He
dead.
finished writing it, so
He
it's
finished
still
writing it.
gonna come out.
It's still coming out on time and everything. Rod Rice is doing it. It's beautiful, but,
great book.
but Kyle is dead.
It's Kyle's last book.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
Yeah. It's a shame about that.
The last great. What a good note to go
How
on.
would you
What a great
grade?
note.
So like for his final book, how would you grade it? Was it okay, or did you go on a whimper?
Solid B minus.
It's a solid B minus. Yeah. As far as last books go, you know, it is epitaph, which means that it kind of sums up his life. And as far as Kyle's life goes, a B minus is
That's really good.
It's
That's
good
the best he's
for
ever done.
Kyle. Yeah.
I so hope he's watching. Is this live? This is live,
It
right?
is.
This is
It
live.
is.
Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm really
From
sorry. I don't
heaven.
even know him,
Yeah,
and
I
yet
know.
Yeah.
that's it.
Do they get the sci-fi live stream in heaven?
Yeah. It's part of the premium package.
Oh my God.
It's kind of funny, anti-heroes, because I feel like Donny, kind of a real life anti-hero.
Sure.
And then Matt Rosenberg, America's sweetheart.
That's right. That's right.
That's
right.
true. That's
You know what's
true.
weird is like in that might be somewhat of our public personas, but I feel like in real life you're more of an anti-hero than I am.
Is that true?
I'm much nicer in real life than you are.
Well, hold
me?
on.
Yeah.
Now the question is, how do you define
That's a
an
low
anti-hero
bar, but
then?
yeah.
Because I feel like that's sort of the question in the ether. So what do you think of as an anti-hero?
What do I think is anti-hero? A bad person who does the right thing.
So you're saying Rosenberg is a bad
No?
person?
Is that a good answer?
It felt prepared.
Okay.
Because I was just going to ramble for a while.
Yeah. I think you know. So I write Venom, right?
Yeah.
And and like you know, Eddie Brock is a guy who is continuously doing the wrong thing for the right reasons, and you know, Peter Parker has such a defined moral code, and
Tell the audience who Peter Parker is.
Okay, Peter Parker's Spider-Man. He's this little character that no one cares about anymore now that Venom's the biggest book
Wait,
in the
who's
world.
Ben Riley?
Ben Riley is
Is
also Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? He's Spider-Man?
Yeah. Anyone
Who's
can,
Kane?
Yeah,
Spider-Man?
also Spider-Man. So if the Into the Spider-Verse taught us that anyone can be Spider-Man, right? But there's only one Venom. Except for Flash
except for that
Thompson
other
and
Venom,
Lee
yeah.
Price, and there's a few Venoms, and
Also,
Matt
like,
Gargan.
Carnage is basically Venom.
He's like Red Venom.
He's Red Venom.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the question. You know, it's like Eddie's a guy who, if you were to ask him, because he's at times been there he is. He's at times been a hero and at times been a villain. And if you were to ask him which one is he, I think that Eddie would tell you that he doesn't know. That he's just he wakes up every day trying to figure out how to not be a bad guy, and in so doing that ends up being a good guy. But I don't think that he necessarily considers himself that.
What about Frank? Because you write Punisher.
I read a book called The Punisher.
Yeah. Never
There's
heard
only
of
one.
it.
There's only one Punisher.
Only one Punisher,
Well, that's not true.
except for
There's a couple.
Cosmic Ghost Rider, who's also
Yeah.
the Punisher.
Ooh.
Ooh, gotcha.
There's also a couple other Punishers.
Yeah.
But there he is. That's the Punisher.
There he
I read
is.
that book. Yeah, you know, it's funny because I didn't know the theme of this till we got on stage, so I don't have my.
No one
answer for
tells
my
us
book.
anything.
But people ask a lot about the Punisher, and they're like, oh, you know, he's a classic anti-hero, and I guess in a sense, I sort of think of him as a villain. I think he's great. He kills a lot of bad guys, but I think if you're a bad guy who kills bad guys, that doesn't make you a good guy. And maybe that is the definition of an anti-hero, but like, he's real bad. Like Eddie's not a really bad guy. He's just kind of like not a great guy.
He's not a great
got some
dude.
problems. The Punisher's like a really bad guy.
Maybe the definition of an anti-hero is if you were to ask characters who have a very clear moral path, like your Steve Rogers and your Peter Parker, if they would hang out with that dude, and the answer is no, probably an anti-hero.
Yeah. Or a bad
That's
guy.
a pretty good
Or a bad
definition.
guy.
Or
yeah.
Or the
Or a
Red
bad
Skull.
guy.
Or a Nazi. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a good answer.
I liked it though.
You tried. Listen, we had 45 minutes to kill.
Let's do it.
And man, you took that and took as much time with it as you could.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful.
Cool.
What was your? Do you remember like what your first anti-hero was? Like the first anti-character that you were like, that's a bad guy that sometimes does good things.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. His name is Eddie Brock.
Wow, really? Is that true?
His name is Venom. Yeah, absolutely. When I was so Eddie and Venom, that character turned 30 years old.
Happy birthday.
Last year, the month that I took him over, and I'm 34. So I was right in the prime age, like I was like 4 years old when Venom came on the scene, and I was already reading Spider-Man and everything and loved him. And then I went into my local comic book shop and saw this crazy monster with this spider symbol on his chest, and I just fell in love. And I've been into that guy. I've never not read an issue of it like the day it comes out. You know, so I've been obsessed with that character my entire life, and now I get to.
Do you feel like your Venom run, like, do you write for 4-year-olds? Like, is that your, because that's where you
That's my prime demo. Yeah.
It feels like that.
4-year-olds. Yeah.
Like
Well, you know, it's funny. A kid came to my table today. He's about 12. And
Too old.
yeah. No, and was he was like telling his mom about like he was like in line and he was like telling her like what was happening in my run and everything. And he was like, and there's this god of the abyss, and like he like killed all these celestials and these gods, and then like Eddie and all this stuff. And I was hearing this child talk about it, and I was like, I gotta fucking lighten up. Gee, that's for children. I was like, yeah, these things are ostensibly for children. But then I thought about it, and because I asked him, I was like, are you reading this run? You're reading the whole thing? And he was like, yeah, I love it. And it reminded me that like one of my favorite comic books growing up was Carnage Mind Bomb. Which, if you've not read Carnage Mind Bomb, it is the most depraved thing you've ever read in your life. It's essentially Cletus Cassidy, who's Carnage.
I knew that one.
He came. He's in Ravencroft, and this psychologist comes to talk to him, to interview him, and Carnage proceeds to snake a tendril out and drill into this guy's head and fill a symbiote into his cranium and show him how he sees the world. And it is terrifying. And I read that when I was like 7. So
is that
it explains
the
something,
titular
I
mind
think.
bomb?
that is the mind bomb.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so I,
The
you know,
titular.
I think that there's something to be said for, and it's not the question that you asked at all, but I think there is something to be said for kids' comics, but like no one ever dumbed anything down for me when I was a kid, and I'm sure most of you guys are the same way. So I'm just going to keep on making it brutal.
Are we allowed to say titular on the air? Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine.
Can we say fuck like I did earlier?
I mean, probably not. But
Okay,
it's
cool.
too late now.
Go anti-heroes, baby.
That's it. It's the anti-heroes panel. I think
Cool.
that all bets are off.
Cool.
Did you have a first anti-hero? Just to try to keep with it. Just let's pretend.
Yeah.
Was it the RZA?
The Riz is my first anti. No, the Riz is my hero. Yeah, I mean, if we're going back on the idea that the Punisher's an anti-hero, which I think is for a lot of people, like that was it for me. I grew up in New York, and I grew up in New York. Like the Punisher comes from an idea of New York, that 70s New York, like the New York in economic collapse, the like Panic in Needle Park, Warriors, like Death Wish New York, where people are like, I don't know if it's just going to be a dystopia forever. The Punisher is sort of born from that idea of like the guy who decides to save the streets himself, which I guess does make him an anti-hero. And I grew up just after that era of New York, so I have a real fascination for it when I was a kid, because there's like, there was just this allure to like what was and isn't anymore, just like these epic stories about New York that you grew up around.
Yeah, I wish they had done a story, Frank Castle versus Rudy Giuliani.
No,
that's a story
yeah.
that really needs to be told.
Yeah, that's
Be a really
beautiful-
short issue.
Yeah.
But satisfying, really satisfying.
But I just loved the Punisher. I was super fascinated with him when I was a kid, and I had a Punisher statue on my desk, my nightstand or whatever, my bedside table, and I had a Punisher poster on my door, like beautiful Mike Zeck, classic
Yeah.
Punisher poster. And my mom once a month would come in and be like, I was like 10, and she'd be like, I will give you whatever you want to take down that Punisher poster. I hate it so much. And I was always like, no, I love it. And I just always loved him. And then when I turned like 16, 17, and sort of started thinking about the world more.
You learned
than I
how to
did.
read?
When I learned how to actually read, I was like, oh, this is horrifying. No, but you hit a point when like you recontextualize your life, and it's not the things that you were necessarily handed. You're evaluating things, and I hit a point where I was like, oh, the Punisher's really awful. Like, what an awful, awful message for children. What an awful idea he is as like a hero. Because there were a lot of Punisher books where it was like, this is a hero, and I was like, this is not for me. This is not my Punisher. Like, I like him as a villain. I like him, like, disgusting. And then Garth Ennis came in and wrote the Punisher, and it just changed everything, where I was like, oh, Garth Ennis understands that he's a monster, that this is a horrifying concept, that we're not supposed to just cheer willy-nilly when the Punisher shoots people or feeds them to polar bears or whatever he does. And that made me fall in love. The polar bears is pretty good.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah. I think in that same issue or the next issue, he throws a boa constrictor at someone because he's in the Central Park Zoo, and he kills them by throwing a boa constrictor at them.
Garth Ennis is so crazy,
He's
dude.
crazy, yeah.
Crazy.
It's also in the video game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a scene that's like the Ennis. Yeah, we have half an hour.
Yeah.
There's like a scene that's in the zoo, and you dunk a guy's face into the piranha tank, and like you hit a button, and the piranhas eat his face. And I was already back on board with the Punisher because Garth Ennis had written, and then I'm like mashing that button, getting people's faces eaten. It was great. So yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. Writing the Punisher, I think if you're viewing him as a bad guy, one of the things that helps, and I think you've done this, and I've seen Greg Rucka, who wrote Punisher for a little bit, did this, is you don't spend a ton of time from his point of view. It's always a lot of how people perceive Punisher, because I think that really kind of gives you a lot of leeway, because there are people that are confused that might see him as a hero, but there are also a lot of people that are going to see him as a bad guy.
I think he's fun. Like, he's a Jason Voorhees, he's a Freddy Krueger, that it's like, you don't want to know what he's thinking. He doesn't talk a lot. He's not telling people, and he's just on this unstoppable force. And so, like, that's what we're trying to do, is show him in the universe as, like, bad guys get in his way and what it's like for them. It's a really fun time to, like, play with seeing a different side of the Marvel Universe, seeing the other side, like what it's like underground.
I had Frank Castle travel back in time and put a gun in a baby's mouth.
Yeah, that's
and then
true.
he punched that baby in the face. Now, granted, that baby was Thanos, so that's fun. So my Punisher's maybe a little bit different. He raised that baby. It's true, and then Thanos turned into the Punisher, and that's cool. So we have varying takes on Frank Castle.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the same.
It's all the same. It's all
just
one
points of the
universe.
same
I mean,
man's
I think
life.
it's a straight line, really.
Yeah, it's really a straight line.
And what you're doing with Eddie right now, what I really like, and you can speak to whether or not, since you said you've read pretty much all of it, the unreliable narrator aspect of him, that he doesn't really know the truth, and it's from his perspective, so you really never... Is this person even real? This cancer death that ever happened?
Right.
It's a really cool conceit.
Well, I want see. So in Venom right now, we're revealing that the symbiote.
Everybody loves it.
And everyone loves it, and everyone's fine, and no one sent me any death threats at all. We're revealing that the symbiote alters your mind and things and how you perceive things to its own benefits. It's very confusing as a reader, and I understand that, but that's on purpose. I kind of want, because we do see the whole world through Eddie's eyes in the book, and I want the reader to be as confused and as panicked and as angry as Eddie is. There's a payoff coming, I promise. It's not all just going to be obtuse and weird. But
that'd be cool too.
That makes you an artist with a capital A.
Yeah, that's right. I'm
That's
an
what that
artiste.
means.
Yes, I'm a dark poet. No, it's real weird because, like, Eddie's a kind of character. So everyone who's ever gotten a symbiote goes through a phase where they're terrified of it. You know, it's this crazy alien that's like amorphous and speaks in your head and changes your physiology and
like
how you think about things.
Cat.
It's like having a cat. That's a weird way to say it. Yeah. And
Matt, do you even have a cat?
No, I'm scared
Okay.
of cats.
I have a cat, and I can tell you categorically that that's completely correct. Continue.
yeah.
I'm not wrong.
But what struck me about Eddie in particular is that Eddie, in the history of the character, is the only guy who got the symbiote and was like, tight, cool, let's roll. He wasn't ever scared of it, never questioned it, was just like, cool, now I'm this crazy half person, half alien monster. And so a lot of my run is figuring out the two sides of that. What makes the symbiote like that? And what the hell makes Eddie the kind of person who just rolls along with those things? And so, you know, the first arc of Venom was a lot of symbiote things and kind of explaining where that darkness in the symbiote comes from. The second arc has dealt more with Eddie and how Eddie perceives himself and the things that made Eddie do that, which we're now learning may not have all been his own choices, that the symbiote has maybe maneuvered him and put him into places that it needed to as well. So yeah, it's in a lot of the same way that Punisher fans sometimes don't dig that you say that he's a bad guy.
Yeah, they don't love that.
Venom fans do not, a certain subsect of Venom fans are not wild about the idea that Eddie and the symbiote have a dysfunctional relationship. Because in the past, Venom has, and Eddie and the symbiote have been written to be somewhat more romantic or attached in a relationship in that way.
Yeah, there's like a whole movie about that.
It's a whole movie about it. It's a documentary called Venom.
Yeah, called Venom, and it's a
the thing is, though, is that like I'm not denying that they have those feelings for each other. I'm not denying that those ever happened. It's just that any adult in this room knows that relationships change and they evolve, and sometimes they go through really horrible patches, and sometimes those divides even up, and you get back together and you learn something, and a lot of times you don't. And so my Venom run could just be seen if you'd like, as a very rough patch between two entities that love each other very much.
They're going to get back together at the end, and it's going to be good?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just now noticing, and I started rambling in the middle of my thoughts because I just realized that Cosmic Ghost Rider is sitting in the audience, and that's super distracting to have a character that I created cosplayed. Will you stand up real quick? I know the cameras can't see this, but that is rowdy. Look at that. Man, dude, that's the best cosplay I've ever seen of that. That's amazing.
You just made so many people who cosplay your characers.
Yeah, you made everybody else feel really
No, you got to
bad,
step
though.
your
Think
game
about
up.
all
That
those
guy's
other
crushing it
cosplayers.
over there.
That guy looks good.
Sweet,
That guy looks
dude.
good.
Yeah, I have some notes, but that's pretty close.
I also like that the symbiote is kind of quietly saying, "You're not even my favorite."
See,
Flash is better.
But again,
I really
man,
miss that. That's kind of an interesting position.
it's look.
Wait, am I asking all the questions that make people mad? I'm just curious
Yes,
about it. See,
you
I
are.
read the book and
You
liked
are.
it, so I didn't.
Yeah, look, Eddie's in a weird spot as Venom because in a lot of ways and for a lot of years he's no one's favorite Venom. You know, I mean, for a long time it was Flash. You know, people love Flash. You know, and there's people who love the symbiote on Peter. You know, and it's a weird thing for Eddie to have to kind of reconcile with the fact that like. I know that if Flash was still here, you'd be with him, but he's not here, and so you're with me, and I know that, you know? Again, it's these like really hard relationships to be in because Eddie doesn't have anyone in his life. Like this symbiote is all that he has, except for now his, spoiler alert, his son is in the book. But it's the saddest story of all time, like Eddie's story, and especially how I'm presenting it is a bummer. But and that's also a lot of what people are mad at me about is that they feel that the Venom series is just kind of a endless sludge through misery, which it absolutely is.
But there's punching.
But there's some punching sometimes. It's sad punching. But look. You know, you got to go through the dark to get to the light, and I promise you, my run is very long, and I'm doing all these horrible things to Eddie, and we're kind of wallowing around in the dark, so that when the light comes, it's going to be a nice payoff, and I promise it's coming sooner than later, ish.
You like that book though, Matt? You're enjoying it.
Venom?
Yeah.
Oh, Matthew's never read Venom in his
don't-
life.
you just don't read
I'm
that.
reading back, so I'm reading the original stuff, but I'll get
Yeah.
the Donnies in like
Oh
a
yeah,
few
I was
Yeah.
gonna say it's kind of actually that kind of leads in, which is it's kind of cool to go back and you did that.
I did
You
do that,
brought
yeah.
up like a character from like a nun that was like in a
Oh, yeah.
panel.
She's not in the panel.
Is that true? Oh, you just
not.
made that a whole cloth.
Yeah, she's.
I just assumed I was like,
No,
seems
because we
legit.
put the panels that she would be in.
Yeah.
We flip them so you see the other side, and she's just off panel. But she's not. Everyone else in the scene, it's all.
You lied to me.
Yeah, that's the point. That's my job.
That's our job. We're liars.
Yeah, in the Punisher run, he is sent to prison in Bagalia, which is a villain country. It is a country that is run by Hydra. And we've done sort of Punisher in prison stories before. We've seen him there. He really likes going to prison because it's just full of people he gets to kill, and he likes that. He doesn't like it enough that he stays. He always leaves, but he goes there a lot.
He likes
and
it.
He likes it.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's like vacation. You don't move to Disney World, but you like going
Yeah,
there.
right.
You stay there.
You and I had a nice time. At
We
Disney
did go
World.
to Disney World. It was really fun. You can, Disney World, feel free to give us passes
Yeah.
whenever.
We work for Disney.
Dropping F-bombs.
Yeah, we already have.
Please
Yeah,
send
that
it
was
to
him.
Disney.
I didn't curse on the thing.
Oh.
I said titular, though.
Yeah.
That was a callback.
That actually is a word with a meaning though, so
Yeah, I
you could
know.
probably say.
So we sent him to prison in Bagalia, which is a supervillain country, and the twist is, this is why I'm a writer, in a supervillain country, everyone in prison is good people. So he goes to prison, and it's full of aid workers and people who tried to help people and got in the way of bad guys. And they hate the Punisher because he's a bad guy. So he goes to prison, and he's getting ready to kill people. And he's like, oh, these aren't the people I kill. And the whole prison is run, the kingpin of the prison is run by a nun, by an old Venezuelan nun. And
who's blind and she's like doesn't have the one eye. Really.
She doesn't have an eye, and she's badly scarred up. And partway through, Frank sort of tries to find out why she is this prison kingpin, and it turns out that she became like much more proactive in dealing with villainy when the Punisher went to Venezuela in the 80s. And there was I don't know how many of you remember your 80s Punisher well, but there was a fake priest and Jigsaw, and they had a drug that they were making that was going to make everyone sterile, I believe. It was a pretty weird plan. And then the devil showed up because 80s comics are awesome. And the Punisher was there, and he was fighting this priest who could make people regrow limbs, and Jigsaw, and then the devil came. And so when the Punisher left, when Jigsaw and the priest dies and the Punisher leaves, and she sort of blames the Punisher for letting the devil come into Venezuela and run around. And so that's her origin story, is like, you create vacuums where evil comes in. Like, you're not a good guy. You're not helping people. You're just making pockets of pain and suffering, and those are filled in and expand. So it's, but
You're a really good writer. That's really good.
Really
I
good,
didn't know that's what you were doing. That's awesome.
You should check it out. It's on sale now.
Was that Punisher?
Punisher,
Yeah.
issue 9 on sale now.
See, if someone had told me to write something in a place called Begalia, it would be like an island of beagles.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not a writer.
There's a
that's
fun-
a terrible idea.
That would be garbage.
There's a fun thing about Begalia. This actually happened at Marvel. We have a writer's room where we get together. Probably not supposed to talk about this, but I'm going to anyway.
Let's do it.
We get together, and a bunch of the writers get together and go through stuff. And I was talking about this and the plan, and I said, I want him to get out of Begalia and sort of go on a killing spree. And they were like, oh, he could just go crazy and kill everyone in Begalia. It's all bad guys. And I was like, how's it all bad guys? And they were like, it's all bad guys. And I was like, the lady who checks your, gas, like the lady who checks your engine light.
Like the garbage men and stuff, or like
Garbage man's the
assassins?
bad guy. I was like, the children? And they're like, there's no children. And I was like, it's literally 100% bad guys. And they're
So
like, it's
paper
literally
or plastic, either way you're a bad guy.
Bad guy.
Bad guy.
Bad guy. Like, you stub your toe and they're like, oh, the nail's kind of messed up. I should go to urgent care. Bad guys
guy.
are taken care of. Like, it's bad guys across the board. So he could kill everyone. And it's pretty fun because he goes and he's getting gas put in his tank. And then he shoots the guy who put gas in his tank. And you're like, oh, Punisher, you're awful. But, like, that was a bad guy.
Yeah.
That guy talks about killing Boy Scouts, though, so.
Yeah.
No, that'll do
This
it.
went to a dark place.
That'll do it. This was always going to go to a dark place.
I know.
Yeah.
Now I just want to read an issue where he goes to the hospital and gets helped, and he's like, "Sorry, Dr. Bad Guy."
If we didn't have to
Dr.
move,
Bad Guy.
I would do.
It's not
Dr.
bad.
Bad Guy is
Dr.
not
Bad Guy is not bad.
Sci-Fi probably owns that now.
Yeah.
We can't take that.
Yeah, we can't create things on this
Yeah,
stage.
he actually
Sci-fi.
comes through the Sharknado,
Ooh.
and that's the introduction. Yeah,
Don't hate
Sharknado,
it.
whatever.
Don't
we're
hate
up
it.
to.
Don't hate it.
I'm available
Dr.
to
Bad
write.
Guy. Got it.
I'm not.
Yeah, that's fair. Dr. Bad Guy is going to be in the next issue of the Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Nice.
not. He's not.
Oh, but the devil is going to show up.
The devil shows up.
Yeah,
He's-
the
he
literal
showed up.
devil.
It's actually,
the devil comes
Marvel
down
Universe
to
is funny because
Begalia.
we have a lot of devils.
Yeah.
When I said the devil, who I mean is actually Belasco, who is the king
Oh,
of-
Belasco for real?
Yeah,
Oh,
Belasco.
okay.
And like, I
I
wrote.
don't know. It could have been it could have been Mephisto.
It could have been Mephisto.
Well, Mephisto's who turned him into the
Yeah,
writer over there.
but
I did that.
It's Belasco,
Belasco,
who is a
damn.
devil. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's-
the king of Limbo for a while. He's not a good guy.
Man.
He created magic of the New Mutants.
I
Sort
love
of turned
magic.
her what
There's
she
a
is.
character that feels like she has no business showing up in a Punisher book, and yet I would read that. Actually, I would. Magic gets the.
Well, you should talk to the guy who's currently in charge of the character Magic.
Okay.
That's
Matthew?
Me. That's me.
Oh, yeah, there
She's
you
not
go.
going to show up in the Punisher.
Yeah, come on, man.
But no, that would be awesome. Magic is a fun.
And she's got a symbiote. There you go.
Yeah, sure.
And Donny
Oh.
comes in and helps write the book.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm
She's
really
got a big
helping
sword, and you like those?
Yeah.
No, don't do that. Save it for off there. Guys, there's going to be a Magic Punisher book. There's not going to be a Magic Punisher book.
It's called Magic Bullets.
If
Oh my god.
There's already a
was
series
the
called
Doctor
Magic.
Strange
That was the
Punisher
Doctor Strange
team-up.
Punisher team up. Yeah.
was Magic Bullets.
Yeah.
Really good covers by Michael Walsh. Good book. I
Uh-huh.
liked it. Yeah.
There you go.
Look at that. On sale now.
17 minutes.
I didn't
Cool.
have
What
any.
What do you got?
Here, well, I'll give you these things, and then
Okay.
we'll keep talking. So these are Garbage Pail Kids.
Okay.
Tops.
I'm familiar.
Okay, yeah.
Pick one, and then we'll whatever one you like, and then somebody with the camera will.
He didn't say pick one on a
get in
litter.
it. Pick one that you hate.
I'm gonna do the
No,
Gambit
no,
game.
No, pick one that you like. Garbage Pail Kids is very kind to us and let us do this bit.
Whoa.
Come on, man.
What? It's Gambit.
Oh, okay.
Dude, okay,
Oh, all right.
Really quick, the funnest thing in the world, and you guys are going to be like, what? Until you try it. Just throw shit on the ground, and as you do it, just scream Gambit, because I always thought Gambit would be 1,000 times cooler if he said his own name when he threw stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
What does he say when he throws stuff?
Gambit!
Yeah, if people are gonna go Kobe.
Try it. Yeah.
They're also supposed to run.
Yeah, Kobe, Gambit.
Yeah.
I picked one.
Oh, you clicked on one?
Okay, you picked one.
Uh,
Yeah, while you're
yeah.
looking, how about that Avengers trailer?
Oh,
Good,
I
right?
like-
Talk about that for a while.
Yeah, let's do oh, there's a new Avengers trailer. That's right.
I didn't see the last one.
You
And
didn't see the
I
last
haven't seen this one. I saw the movie, but I didn't see him.
Okay.
I don't watch the trailers.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
fair,
okay.
fair.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, then
Okay.
we don't want to ruin it
I
for
saw
you.
Captain Marvel. Didn't know what was going on.
I haven't seen it yet.
Punisher was in it. It really surprised the hell
she
out of
punches
me.
an old lady in the face, which apparently the internet was really excited about 7 months ago. I was excited about it 7 days ago.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That's the joy of not seeing trailers.
There you
The
go.
new trailer looks dope.
For
All
Captain
right.
Marvel?
No, for Avengers Endgame.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's good.
Gambit in it?
Gambit's in it.
Yeah, he throws
Yeah,
stuff.
the X-Men are all over it. They're all in it.
That's
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right, so which one did you pick? Show it to the camera.
I got, where's my camera? You? 3? I got Clobbered Corey, which, so if you can't see it, Clobbered Corey appears to have the entire planet of Earth smashed into him,
He's big.
which figures, or it's a little Earth. So I don't know. I picked it because it's cosmic. What are we doing with this? What's the bit?
Wait and see.
What's the bit?
Am I supposed to do mine now?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to go to camera 3 again. I like
Camera
that.
3.
You're just so
camera 3.
helpful.
I chose Tussling Tyler.
Okay.
Because I...
He's there's like two folks there.
He got like a Two-Face kind of
he's
action
got-
going on.
Yeah, he's... I don't know.
He's
what
like a
the-
double dude. He got like two heads
he's
and they're
got-
fighting each other.
Yeah.
Or they got Siamese twins, but they fight each other. That's cool.
One of them is wearing a cow print shirt, and I thought he was wearing cowboy boots, but now I see like he's got,
got,
they
like,
got
regular-
laces and they're like wrapped around the back. I don't know what
Yeah.
kind of shoes those are. And he's holding what may be a bar of soap that says Garbage Pail. He goes, "Oh, I just got what it is."
Oh, dude, it's like a Tyler Durden Fight Clubby thing.
Oh, I wouldn't have picked that if
makes-
I'd known what it was.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
I picked it because that guy. I don't
Let's
want
just
to
pretend. Let's just
Okay.
pretend it wasn't that. Shh.
Okay.
It's fine.
So what's the bit?
So here's the thing. First of all, I want to thank Matt for not asking me what the bit is. In this very incredulous, like, why are you wasting the last 15 minutes?
No, you're doing great.
Yeah, thank you. It's great. I really need the encouragement today. Heart's broken.
Yeah.
We're following a cast member of Star Wars.
Is that who that was?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, we'll just
Or
talk about
Game of
Gwendolyn
Thrones, you
Christie
could
for a
pick.
while.
She's on
She's
both.
very tall.
Oh, is that?
and
Wait,
very
was
nice.
that Brienne of Tarth?
It sure was.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Why the hell are you guys here for
See,
us?
if you had showed up 15 minutes before like you were supposed to,
I know.
you could have gotten your bag stolen,
Yes,
just
she
like
went
what
into
happened.
the green room and my
Matt's
bag was in there,
stolen by
and I
Gwendolyn
was
Christie.
so
Fact.
hoping. I don't know her. She seems lovely. I was so hoping she was just going to walk out wearing my bag, and I'd be like, "Oh, she just stole my stuff," and I'd be like totally
Yeah.
cool with that. She could totally do that.
Yeah,
It's
you'd be,
Captain
it's
Phasma.
fine. But
Oh, it's Captain Phasma.
Yeah.
yeah, don't let onto that though on a stage because now it's just her.
Yeah,
Like,
Matt
nobody-
loves
nobody
it
else
when
can
you
nobody
steal
else
his
can
bag.
Rosenberg's bag.
You guys can just walk right through there. They're not checking IDs or anything. You guys can just go back there and steal
Man,
whatever you want.
Donnie, I'm begging you.
What's up?
All right, so the bit is I want to come up with an anti-hero backstory for these cards that you picked, and then we'll discuss what would happen like if that one got a symbiote, or like what happened if they run
Okay.
afoul of Frank Castle.
So, so Matt and
What
I
a
don't
great
write.
bit this was.
Matt and I don't write for free. Is the thing.
We write
right.
for Garbage Pail. I would write for Garbage Pail Kids though.
Can we keep the card?
Can we talk about Garbage
Yeah,
Pail
you
Kids for a
keep the
second?
Garbage Pail
There's
Kids are
a
great. That's a great starting place. I grew up on them.
I love them. In my neighborhood, I live in Harlem, New York City. There's a bridge, a pedestrian bridge, and it's full of graffiti on the guardrail. And there is graffiti that looks like it's from 1986, but no one dares write over it. And it just says, "This area reserved for Garbage Pail Kids" in huge letters. And it's like it's my favorite thing in New York.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool. I always want to go. I might go stick this there.
I think you should.
In tribute to whoever wrote that.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. I think it's
Yeah.
really great. And I don't know, I like try and think all the time. It's not like in spray paint, it's like painted. And I'm always like, was this done in earnest? Was someone
It
hoping
was,
that
it's
it would be like a
viral marketing
communal-
for the film.
No, maybe.
It feels really. No, I believe that's earnest. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm gonna go start doing
Ernest
it.
P. Worrell for sure. But yeah, I mean, like genuinely,
It's
as
the
a-
pedestrian bridge over Fairway.
This is
If you
true.
all
No,
go to the
I just
135th
collected
Street
them.
Fairway.
I had like a special little container, and like no matter how many times I looked at them, I would still go back.
I was a
like,
Mad Balls kid.
Oh yeah.
Remember Mad Balls?
Yes, I do remember
Yeah,
Mad Balls.
yeah.
There actually was a Mad Balls card, and I was like,
There was a
Donnie
Mad
doesn't
Balls
get to have
garbage
that
pail
one.
kid?
Yeah.
What? The
I like- you can
crossover
have
of
it.
a
I kept it
generation.
for myself.
I like the New York hardcore band Madball. I grew up going to see them.
Yeah.
Most violent show I ever went to was Madball.
We still have like 11 and a half minutes left.
Do you want me to
so-
tell what happened?
Yeah, you guys-
I saw a kid get
come on,
all
man.
of
You
it.
guys sat
All
through
of his-
Brienne of Tarth to hear
all-
some hot garbage pail kid talk.
all of
It's pretty enthralling,
kid in the
right?
front row had all of his teeth
Yeah.
knocked out.
If you guys want to break into comics, you can work your entire life to make it to where we are. On this
Or
couch
do it
talking
much
about
faster
garbage
than we did.
pail kids.
So I'm talking about Tussling Tyler.
Tussling Tyler.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. This is going to be a little off color, but we're going to do it anyway.
I said you were a nice guy.
I
and now
know
here
you
we
did.
are.
Donnie let you know.
Yeah.
If you look at Tussling Tyler, the thing that's interesting is like the way this half of him, his hair is combed, and he's wearing a brown suit. He looks like I'm sorry to say, but he looks like baby Hitler.
I was going to say he looks like Hitler.
Like he's dressed.
Wait a
like-
minute. Did you say that in the back, or did in fact the actual Tyler say
Yeah,
that?
my buddy Tyler was
Tyler Boss.
backstage.
Just a
and he
shout
looked
out
at
to
Tyler Boss is here, yeah.
Tyler Boss was here with me. He draws comics. We did a book together called Four Kids Walking to a Bank, and he looked at it and was
Great
like,
book.
"Is this Hitler absorbing someone?" And I was like, "No." But then Tyler already written it for me, so then I
Okay.
saw it again and was like, "It does
Yeah.
look like Hitler." I don't like Hitler, but I do like
But
the
you're right,
idea.
Punisher,
That's a
you
bold
think he's a bad
stance.
guy, so.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be political on stage, but I don't like Hitler.
Well, say what you will about Hitler,
No.
but he did kill Hitler.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Whoa.
Oh, dang. We just got so dark. This is literally, we've been off air for at least.
Yeah, they've canceled this feed a long time ago.
But I like the idea that this guy in the cow print shirt did something and accidentally got.
Merged. It was like a teleporter accident.
Yeah, it's
that he
called
was
like a-
going back in time to bring Hitler to the modern day to pay for his crimes, and they got teleported, merged together.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
He teleported and accidentally teleported into Hitler.
Into Hitler.
And that's his
he's
origin.
not into
and
it.
now
Cool.
he hates him,
He hates
but
him.
he's half Hitler, and so Hitler's going to run around and try and do. This is, oh God, I'm never going to work again, am I?
I think this sells. I think
None
that
of us
tracks.
are.
You've
Who
got,
knew it was going to
your
end
turn.
this way? But you know.
Mine is
So there's a cosmic element.
there's
you
a
would say.
it's a little kid just getting okay. Like, imagine if there was like a cosmic bowling alley. I'm just describing. This is not my pitch. This is what I'm saying right now is garbage. Imagine just so you guys can kind of see the card in your head. Imagine there's like a
imagine it like it's not
imagine
real.
it like it's not real, as if it weren't real. Like a cosmic bowling alley, and like they're using planets to bowl with, and there's like a little kid who wandered into the lane. He got hit with Earth. That's what's happening on this card. It doesn't make any sense at
He's not
all.
a pin. In the cosmic bowling alley, they don't use children as pins. He accidentally ran onto the lane.
That's the story that I'm going with.
Okay.
As for the, I'm gonna go with that story. That's what this card is.
Yeah.
That's good. It's
Yeah,
a little
that's good.
kid who wandered into a cosmic bowling alley. I don't get the gag on this
No, I
card.
really don't.
I really. That's why I picked it, because like all the other ones are like this cat's name is Buzzed Buzz, and he's got like a bunch of coffee, and he's like vibrating because his phone is
Oh,
popping
I
off.
got-
And then like this one is Slammed Sam. He appears to be a bunch of pogs. This guy's name's Bladen Aiden. He's a rollerblade.
Well, you're not supposed to pick all of them.
Well, I'm just trying to
There you go.
explain why like this one doesn't make any sense to me, because he's just a kid getting squished by a planet.
I mean, it sounds like it could be in a Guardians book.
Could be in a Guardians book.
I like the idea that it's a tiny planet.
It's a tiny planet instead of a large child.
It also is missing so many continents. It's like a 2-continent planet.
Yeah, it's like a Pangea type of an affair.
It's like the map they show you if you're a kid educated in the American school system in the 90s. There's like, there's only 2 continents.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's the pitch.
I just got political again.
It's really what it is it's a metaphor for the American school system and how history is just shoved down our throat, man. Gambit.
You're not keeping it? Damn, I was gonna keep. I like that one.
Once again, huge thanks to Tops.
Oh, is it sponsored by Tops?
I love Tussling Tyler. I'm keeping this. It's gonna go on the bridge. If anybody's
Yeah.
in New York and wants to go on the bridge and meet
Cool.
him, he'll be there.
Cool.
Yeah.
But not clobbering Corey because he's down in the
Yeah.
moat around the stage.
Yeah. You guys can have that.
The piranhas have him
Yeah.
now.
This guy's name is Backward.
Oh.
So he's just like a backwards kid.
Some of them are better than others.
Are they? Where are those?
That's wow.
Oh no, I think they're great.
Okay.
Yes.
This is Dum Dum Dan.
Did you say Dum Dum Who?
Dum Dum Dan.
Oh, that's me.
It's
He's just got a football for a
doesn't know how
head.
to-
Yeah, yeah.
potato.
They actually predicted that I was going to come up with this bit.
Wait, hold on.
And then they
Is
made it
that a
hard for me.
Dan Quayle
It's a
joke
Dan
in the
Quayle
year
It's
2019?
90s politics.
It is called I Hate the 90s.
It's called I Hate the
There
90s.
is a
We're
series
fun.
to it. There is a reason.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well,
we
do you
did
guys
that.
feel like you've learned a lot about Venom and Punisher and anti-heroes?
We have 6 more minutes.
Okay, because we have 6 more minutes.
Yeah.
We're not doing questions for the crowd?
Do you guys have any questions?
If Tyler Boss was
I
in
can
the crowd, I would
repeat
take a
any of your
question
questions
from Tyler.
aloud.
A long time ago.
Anyone? Anyone? 6 minutes and counting. No?
My
That guy has declared that no one has questions.
There's no mic for the crowd, so.
I know, but I'll repeat it back.
Oh, that's really nice of you.
Yes.
Castle is amazing.
Frankie
I love
Castle is
Frankie
amazing. We're way into
I
Frankie
know
Castle
that,
over here.
As the writer of The Punisher, 1 in every 10 Punisher people comes up to me and is like, I hate Frankencastle. And I kind of love that. I think that's really fun. There's something really fun about doing polarizing work.
Yeah.
And I think Frankencastle is one of those books that like people are super passionate about it, or it made them real mad. And that's like
2 things.
exciting.
Like, 1, as a guy who turned Frank Castle into the Cosmic Ghost Rider, I have no room to complain about that. But also, as 2 guys who work at Marvel, like, we've talked about this. Like, Rick was at such a high place at that company that he was able to walk into a meeting and be like, Frankencastle. And they were like, okay.
Yeah.
That's what we love about it. It's just like the chutzpah of it, you know?
It's like, did the pun come first, or was it
Yeah.
just like, what if he's a Frankenstein monster? It's so simple, and also removed from all that, when you read the book, spoiler, Frank Castle gets turned into a Frankenstein monster.
Yeah. He gets chopped up by Doc.
I reread all of the Punisher when I took over the book, and I got to the Frankencastle. I had the trade. I'd read it when it came out. I pulled the trade off the shelf. It says Frankencastle. I know what happened. In the scene when Frank Castle dies, I still audibly went, what the hell? Because it's so well done.
violent.
It's so violent.
Because
It's
it happens
crazy.
in dark. It's coming out of Dark Reign.
Yeah.
Right. So it's Norman Osborn's Avengers,
Yeah.
and so Doc and Frank Castle square off in the rain on the roof, and it's Junior art, right?
Yeah.
And he just chops him to
He
pieces.
chops, he breaks a leg, and you're like, oh, Frank's got it tough now. He's gonna fight a burger.
and he chops
then
his
gets,
arm
and then he
off.
gets an arm chopped off, and you're like,
Oh, this is getting rough. Okay, but he's gonna pull it out, and he doesn't. And then Dokken chops up into little pieces and kicks him off of the roof into an alley, and then just roll credits.
No, there's a like splat panel of his headless body hitting that. It's so good.
It's great. Yeah. So we're super pro Frankencastle over here.
Pretty much anything Rick Remender does.
Anything Rick's ever done. Yeah.
Not any.
I wish he would do an Image book.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Anybody else? When is an idea too absurd? I mean, we've. So I could give you examples, but like I've been told yes a lot when I should have been told no. Cosmic Ghost Rider is a great example. When I did Thanos, there was just this character running around, and I put it in my outline. It wasn't a surprise to my editors that it was going to be Frank Castle, and it was going to be revealed that he was a herald and that he was a Ghost Rider and all these things. And then I turned in the issue, like the origin of him, and my editor Jordan was like, ugh, you really want to do this? Seriously, this is what you're going to do? And I was like, oh, yeah, for sure. And then the Cosmic Ghost Rider, the series, was about, again, him going back in time to put a gun in baby Thanos' mouth and kill him, and then realizing that he shouldn't do that because he hasn't done anything wrong yet. And he straps him to his chest and is like, I'm going to raise this child. And so, like, Cosmic Ghost Rider, that series, which is called Baby Thanos Must Die, is an exercise in the answer to your question. When is an idea too crazy? Cosmic Ghost Rider going back and killing baby Thanos. But it got approved, so I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like at the same time, like me and Donny started Marvel at the same time.
Yeah.
We're very close friends, as this stage may not. I feel like we don't come off like
as
we
friends.
know each other,
we're sitting abnormally close.
We're sitting really close, yeah. We both hit that point in our careers at Marvel where we were like, hey, now I think we've got enough goodwill that we can do dumb stuff.
Yeah.
And so like he did Cosmic Ghost Rider when I was like,
when he was doing Multiple Man.
I did Multiple Man, and like there was a meeting where they were like, hey, you did Phoenix Resurrection, it did really well for us. What would you like to do next? And I was like, I'd like to do a Multiple Man book. And they were like, no, you didn't understand.
Exactly.
You did really well. Like you have currency with us. Like what would you like? Do you want to do X-Force?
Like Wolverine? Like what do you want to do?
And I was like, yeah, I want to do Multiple Man.
Yeah.
And just the look on everyone's face as I kept being like, I want to do Multiple Man. And they finally were like, fine, do Multiple Man. What's it going to be? And I was like, well, he goes forwards in time to save himself from dying and accidentally becomes an evil emperor and then kills himself and then has to go back in time to convince himself not to go forward in time to save himself because he becomes the evil emperor. And I was like, the whole thing takes place in like 15 minutes, and it's a whole like thing, and basically for 2 issues the only character in it is Multiple Man, and he's hunting himself, and there's around 600 of him, and like they were just real baffled.
Yeah.
They were real baffled the whole time.
We have a kind of a thing. If you look at our careers at Marvel, there's a one for them, one for us, back and forth. You know. So yeah, it's like I'll do Inhumans, but in Venom I'm gonna need a dragon made out of a symbiote. And they're like, okay, fine.
All right.
All right. All right.
I feel like we did it. We did it.
I like
Here's my
that
thought. Since this is the end of all of our careers and we're probably going to die as soon as we get off the stage, grade this interview as we did with Kyle.
This is our last interview of all time.
On Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
God.
What do you want to give this as our last interaction on the human race as part of this group?
This is like my last statement.
How did we do?
Alive?
Like, how did we do?
I wasn't prepared for this.
No, I'm just trying to give you a grade. Like,
I will say in the same way that Kyle's last book was about what summed up his entire life, was about a B-.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't prepare for this at all and crushed it. So that's pretty much me.
Does it B-?
There you go.
A+.
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 Rosie, where do you think it lands?
I give Donnie a B.
Oh.
And yourself?
Yeah, there's room for improvement.
Okay. I'm gonna die. I can't improve.
Well, yeah. I mean, theoretically, there's room for improvement.
Okay.
I'll be honest. Like, I went to bed super late. I was on an 8 a.m. flight.
Yeah.
I'm like C- here right now.
Yeah.
That's
about
I
average,
talked
though.
about Hitler a lot.
We talked about Hitler
on the live
too much.
Stream.
I feel
Not
like-
good.
I feel like-
So that bumps you down some points. But you, on the other hand,
A+.
A+.
Super A+. I give you a real hard time, but you're doing a great job, buddy.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
That's it. That's the show. Obviously, read both of these books. I actually feel like everybody has gotten an idea of like what all the best weird books to read at Marvel are right now.
Yeah.
So
Come
thanks.
see us.
And I give you both an A+.
Yeah, thanks,
look
guys.
at that.
We
For
did
sure.
it.
Great work.
Cool.
Please
9,
stick around.
8,
We're going to have
7,
DJ Kirkland and Daniel Barnes discuss the Black Mage, and we're going to go die. Please stick around, though, and we'll be right back. Someone will, not us.